Okay, we're doing 4.4. We're going to learn about inequalities and how to graph them. So this right here, it would be a great screenshot to take just to help you determine later as you see what to do here. But you want to take a screenshot of that. Let me go ahead and erase my markings of this green thing. The biggest ones that I find to memorize that seem to bother people are these here. So what I like to do is I'd say to myself, I usually use something like distance or money, and I'd say the money in my pocket is at most $20. So is at most would indicate that the most that could be in my pocket would be $20. Therefore, it would be the less than or equal to. But if it says at least $20, then that would be the greater than or equal to, because the least I could possibly have is $20. Or it is no less than 20 miles to school would mean, well, it's no less than 20 miles, so it's more than 20 miles or equal to 20 miles. And again, it's no more than 20 miles would indicate that that 20 miles would be the maximum. So those that I underline, those are the ones you probably want to think about. And like I said, think of the money in your pocket or the distance somewhere, and it helps you remember. So basically what we're going to be doing is learning to write inequalities. So an inequality, I kind of got ahead of myself, is similar to an equation, only an equation would say 3x is equal to 7, whereas an inequality is going to say that 3x is less than, greater than, less than or equal to, or greater than or equal to. And I did those in this order. So less than, greater than, less than or equal to, greater than or equal to. Something I always try to remember to tell kids is that the x is, or the variable is not always on the same side. So if I have it like this, that is saying that t is greater than 3. So you always want to look at your variable and read it from this direction. And they always told you that the shark eats the bigger number, right? So you would think that this would be less than, but if you look at where the shark is facing toward the variable, so the shark is eating the greater number. So t is greater than 3 here. So that's another important distinction that I see kids messing up on. Okay, so let's look at an example here. So a number q, so that's always kind of funny to listen to, but it's basically saying a number represented by q plus 5, so q plus 5, is less than or equal to. So that's very easy. Less than or equal to, so the pointy end goes this way, is less than or equal to, and you can look up here too, this number, negative 7.9. So pretty straightforward. You just have to kind of learn to take words and turn them into sentences. Okay, so so now we have to figure out, so what it's telling us is that this y minus 5 is greater than negative 6. So I want you to get in the habit, remember we're learning about systematic ways of doing it, of writing the original problem on your paper. So I'm pretending I'm writing for the first time on a piece of paper, and now I'm going to substitute this negative 2 for y. So negative 2 minus 5 is greater than or equal to negative 6. Well, now we check it. So we have to do our same signs, add and keep, right? Because both these numbers here are negative, negative 2, negative 5, same signs, add and keep. So we have negative 7 is greater than negative 6. Be careful here, because the more negative a number it is, the smaller it gets. So the greater the value as it goes negative, the smaller the number. So in this case, negative 7 is not, so we put a line through it, is not greater than or equal to negative 6. So therefore, it is not a solution. Okay, and as you can see, I let them go ahead and work out the one below. You can pause it and see what they did. They substituted in the negative 2. Notice these parentheses. That is super important. If it's not the first number, like it was up here when I substituted this negative 2, you want to put it in these parentheses like they did down here, because otherwise it would look like negative 5.5, negative 2, and that would look like minus 2. But if you put the parentheses, it makes it more clear that that is multiplication. Also, just looking at this here, we recognize that negative 5.5y means negative 5.5 times y, not plus, not minus, so be very careful on that as well. Okay, so then we're going to have to do things where we are using word problems. So it's very similar. We just have to kind of think about it and create this word that they did here. So a rock climber's sleeping bag is recommended for temperatures no more than negative 15. So the temperature is no more than negative 15. That means it can't be more. So therefore, it is less than. Therefore, this negative 15 is less than. So I'm looking from the negative 15's perspective and seeing that it is on the less than side, t. So as you can see, so let's continue reading, sorry. Write and graph an inequality that represents the recommended temperature for the sleeping bag. So basically what it's saying is the inequality T greater than, so the temperature has to be greater than or equal to negative 15, or you're going to be cold. Okay, that should make sense, hopefully. If not, pause it, think about it. If the sleeping bag can't handle anything less than 15, then that means the temperature would have to be greater than or equal to negative 15, or you'll be cold. Okay? So what we want is, this is our graph. And notice that this dot is filled in here. Okay, filled in indicates it's equal to. If it were not equal to, if it just was greater than only, then we do an open circle. So there's two ways to write a graph. Greater than or less than would look something like this. Let's say let's say x is greater than 2. So you would have 0 would be here, 2 would be here, and we would have an open circle, and any number greater than 2, that's a terrible drawing there, but okay. Any number greater than 2, but not including 2, would be a solution to a problem, okay? And then if we have x is greater than or equal to 2, then it's the same thing. 0 would be here, 2 would be here, and we would fill it in because of this bottom line says or equal to. So anything including the number 2 that is greater than 2 is a solution to this inequality. All right, come see me with questions. Have a great night or day.